There's a system that turns every single drop of rain that hits your roof into clean, drinkable, nearly infinite water. It requires no electricity, no pump, no permission from anyone. A roof of just 1,000 square feet in a city with 47 inches of annual rainfall collects over 28,000 gallons of water per year. That is more than a family of 4 consumes in 12 full months, for free, falling from the sky, right into your backyard. Entire civilizations were built on this one technique. The Romans did it for centuries. The Mayans mastered it before any European ever set foot in the Americas. The Persians were doing it over 5,000 years ago in the middle of the desert. Then the bottled water corporations, the municipal utilities, and the chemical treatment industry looked at this system and did the only thing they could do. They demonized it. They regulated it. And in some places on Earth, they made it literally illegal. They did not stop collecting rainwater because it was dangerous. They stopped because it worked too well. Water that falls from the sky at zero cost, with no monthly bill and no dependence on any corporation, cannot be metered. And what cannot be metered cannot generate profit. This is the story of the oldest technology on Earth that the water industry spent millions to make you forget. Welcome to Forbidden Camping. If you are not subscribed yet, hit subscribe and the bell. This is where we dig up what the outdoor industry buried. In 1930, on the island of Bermuda, the British colonial government passed a law that still exists today, nearly 100 years later. Every single house built on the island is required by law to have a rainwater collection system integrated into its roof. Not optional, not recommended. Required by law. Bermuda has no rivers, no natural lakes, no significant underground aquifers. The only reliable source of fresh water on the entire island is rain falling from the sky. The rooftops in Bermuda are unlike anything you have ever seen anywhere else in the world. They are stepped, built with white limestone ridges that function as natural gutters, slowing the water down and shedding impurities as it flows toward collection channels that feed directly into underground cisterns built beneath every single home. An elegant, silent, and completely autonomous system that has been running without interruption for nearly a century. No treatment plant, no municipal pipes, no water bill, no dependence. But this story does not begin in Bermuda. It begins much, much earlier. In 2500 BC, in the Negev Desert in what is now Israel, a people called the Nabateans built something that defied all logic. Hand-carved stone channels that captured every millimeter of rain and directed it into massive cisterns carved from the living rock itself. They lived in one of the driest places on the face of the earth, less than 4 inches of rain per year. To put that in perspective, Houston, Texas receives 15 times more rainfall than the Negev Desert. And yet the Nabateans fed livestock, cultivated vineyards, raised entire cities from the sand, and controlled trade routes that spanned the Middle East. The city of Petra, carved directly into the rose-colored sandstone cliffs and considered one of the 7 wonders of the modern world, existed for one single reason. The Nabateans mastered the art of capturing and storing every drop of rain that fell on that merciless desert. Archaeologists have uncovered more than 200 cisterns scattered across the region, all connected by miles of channels carved into stone with millimeter precision. A complete, functioning hydraulic system operating without a single pump, without a single motor, without a single watt of electricity. In the Roman Empire, rainwater cisterns were as common as paved roads. The Basilica Cistern in Istanbul, built in 532 AD by direct order of Emperor Justinian, stands as one of the greatest hydraulic engineering achievements in human history. It stored over 21 million gallons of water in a subterranean chamber supported by 336 marble columns, imported from ancient temples across the Mediterranean. This cistern operated without interruption for over 1,000 years, supplying palaces and entire neighborhoods of Constantinople with clean water. In Venice, the city built on salt water, there existed a cruel paradox that most people never learn about. Water everywhere, but not a single drinkable drop. The canal water was salty, contaminated, and potentially lethal if consumed directly. The Venetian solution was one of the most brilliant in the history of ancient engineering. Beneath every public square, they excavated enormous cisterns lined with impermeable clay. Rain fell on the square, flowed through strategically placed drains, passed through dense layers of sand and gravel that acted as a natural biological filter, and accumulated clean and fresh in the cistern below. The famous wells of Venice that still stand in the center of nearly every piazza in the city were not wells in the traditional sense. They were taps connected to underground cisterns filled with naturally filtered rainwater. The Venetians drank exclusively rainwater for over 500 consecutive years. 500 years. No chlorine, no fluoride, no treatment plant, not a single documented epidemic caused by their water. In India, the system is even older and even more monumental. The structures known as stepwells combined rainwater capture with underground storage on a colossal scale. The Chand Bauri in the state of Rajasthan descends 13 stories into the earth and contains 3,500 steps arranged in a hypnotic geometric pattern. It was built in the 9th century by order of King Chand to guarantee water for his people through the merciless dry months. 1,200 years later, the Chandbari still stands, and it still works. In northeastern Brazil, the semi-arid Sertão region has known this technique for generations. The 1 Million Cisterns program, launched in 2003 by a coalition called ASA, installed simple plate cisterns in rural communities scattered across the drought-stricken interior. Each cistern stores over 4,200 gallons of rainwater, collected directly from the roof of the house through basic gutters. Enough for a family of 5 to survive up to 8 months of severe drought. By 2020, more than 1,300,000 cisterns had been built across the Brazilian semi-arid region. Families who once walked 3, 4, 5 hours under the scorching sun to fetch muddy water from open pits suddenly had clean water 10 steps from their front door. The average cost of each cistern was approximately $400, a tiny fraction of what municipalities spent on water trucks that got stuck in the mud and often never reached their destination. Stay with me, because the numbers that come next will completely change how you think about water. This video is just the surface. I have collected everything the water industry does not want you to know, all in the complete Forbidden Camping Vault. Rainwater harvesting techniques that entire civilizations depended on, and that are now regulated as if they were dangerous. Homemade sand and charcoal filters that actual engineers tested and that outperform $60 industrial filters. Storage systems that keep water drinkable for months without chlorine and without electricity. Rainfall maps so you can calculate exactly how much your roof can collect in your city. Solar purification methods that the World Health Organization officially validated, but that almost nobody talks about. And much more. Over 10 guides in one place, no fluff, straight to the point. The link is in the description, but stay here. The video is just getting started. Now let us talk about the numbers, and the numbers are terrifying. A study from the University of Texas at Austin, published in 2015, analyzed the rainwater harvesting potential across 21 American cities, and the results left the researchers stunned. In cities like Houston, Texas, a house with a roof of just 2,000 square feet could collect over 49,000 gallons of water per year. That is 140% of the total water demand of an average American family. There was water left over from the roof for free. In tropical regions, the data is even more staggering because rainfall is dramatically higher. The average rainfall in countries near the equator exceeds 67 inches per year, nearly double the global average. Cities like Belém in northern Brazil receive over 118 inches of rain every single year. A roof of just 860 square feet in Belém would collect over 63,000 gallons of water annually. An average family of 4 consumes roughly 57,000 gallons per year, based on about 40 gallons per person per day. That single rooftop in Belém collects more water than the entire family needs to live for 12 months. And even in drier cities like Denver, Colorado, with only 15 inches of annual rainfall, a 1,000 square foot roof would still collect over 9,000 gallons, enough to cover nearly all outdoor irrigation, toilet flushing, and laundry for an entire year. The quality of the water also stuns anyone who studies it for the first time. A study published in the journal Environmental Science and Technology in 2018 compared rainwater collected and filtered through a basic sand and activated charcoal system with municipally treated tap water. The result was devastating for the treatment industry. The filtered rainwater showed 0 chlorine levels, nearly undetectable fluoride concentrations, and a heavy metal content lower than the water coming out of your kitchen faucet right now. Lower. Water that fell from the sky, filtered through a homemade system costing less than $20 in materials, contained fewer contaminants than water processed by a multi-million-dollar industrial treatment plant. The World Health Organization published in 2011 its Guidelines for Drinking Water Quality Manual, which explicitly recognizes rainwater harvesting as a viable and safe source of potable water, stating that in many regions, rainwater is cleaner than surface or groundwater sources contaminated by pesticides and industrial runoff. Researchers at the University of Warwick in England demonstrated in 2016 that a biosand filter built with materials costing less than $10 removes 98% of bacteria from collected rainwater. 98%, with sand, gravel, and a bucket. In Australia, where millions of people practice rainwater harvesting as a normal part of daily life, a 2020 study from Monash University analyzed over 1,000 households using rainwater as their primary drinking source. The conclusion was that residents showed rates of gastrointestinal illness equal to or lower than people connected to the fully treated public water supply. Read that again. Equal or lower. Science does not merely say that rainwater harvesting works. Science suggests that in many cases it may actually be better than the system you're paying for every single month. If you have made it this far, you already know more about rainwater harvesting than 99% of people. Subscribe and share with someone who needs to remember what they made us forget. And remember, everything the industry buried is in the complete vault. Link in the description. Now stay with me. The next vault is the heaviest. So why do you not have a cistern in your backyard right now? Why is rainwater harvesting not taught in schools? Why does it not appear in urban housing programs? Why did nobody ever tell you? This is where the story gets strange and heavy. The global bottled water industry generates over $350 billion per year. $350 billion. 4 corporations alone control more than 40% of that colossal market. Nestle, Danone, Coca-Cola, and PepsiCo. These companies depend on a single premise, that you believe you need to buy water packaged in plastic. A free technique that turns any roof on the planet into a source of drinking water threatens that entire model at its root. You cannot patent rain. You cannot charge a monthly subscription for the sky. You cannot create a premium version of water that falls for free. And what cannot be bottled, labeled, and placed on a shelf cannot be sold at a profit margin. During the exact same period that the bottled water industry was exploding in growth, restrictive legislation against rainwater collection began sprouting across multiple countries like mushrooms after a storm. In the state of Colorado in the United States, it was literally illegal to collect rainwater from your own roof until the year 2016. The official justification was that rainwater belonged to the state and that collecting it on your own property violated previously established water rights. You read that correctly. The water that fell from the sky onto your roof on your property was not yours. It belonged to the government. In Utah, rainwater harvesting was only legalized in 2010, and even then with a maximum cap of 2,500 gallons per household, as if the sky had a meter. In Australia, despite the practice being widespread, multiple cities impose regulations requiring permanent connection to the public water grid, even when the homeowner already has a perfectly functioning private cistern. You can collect rain, sure, but you're still forced to pay the monthly bill to the utility company. In America, where no federal ban exists, the absence of meaningful incentive is systematic and calculated. There are no significant federal programs promoting urban rainwater harvesting for the hundreds of millions of Americans living in cities. There are no substantial tax deductions for homeowners who install collection systems. There are no public awareness campaigns teaching the technique that the Nabateans already mastered 4,500 years ago. Meanwhile, the American water and wastewater industry generates over $150 billion annually in revenue. Every cistern a citizen installs in their backyard is one less customer paying a monthly bill. Every gallon of rain collected is a gallon that does not pass through a meter and does not become revenue. If half of American homes harvested rain just for toilet flushing, laundry, and irrigation, utility revenue would drop by an estimated 30%, representing tens of billions of dollars per year in lost income. The residential water filtration industry alone generates over $12 billion per year in the United States, selling countertop filters, replacement cartridge purifiers, and reverse osmosis systems costing thousands of dollars. A homemade biosand filter that costs less than $10 and works for years without significant maintenance threatens every cent of that market. The entire economic model of urban water supply in America and across the world depends on a single word: dependence. You depend on the utility, which depends on the treatment plant, which depends on the chemicals, which depends on the industrial suppliers. Rainwater harvesting from your own roof breaks that entire chain with a bucket and a gutter. That is why nobody taught you. That is the part nobody talks about. I need to be honest with you. Rainwater harvesting is not perfect, and I am not going to pretend it is. In areas with high atmospheric pollution, the first water from each rainfall event can carry particles of soot, dust, and airborne pollutants. Roofs with certain materials like asbestos tiles are completely unsuitable for water collection intended for human consumption. And prolonged droughts require serious planning and storage capacity matched to the climate reality of your region. But none of these problems are unsolvable, and none of them, absolutely none, justify the systematic suppression of this technique. Here is what to do, step by step. No complication. First, evaluate your roof, measure the total area in square feet, multiply by your city's average annual rainfall in feet. Then multiply by 7.48 to convert cubic feet to gallons. Example, a 1,000 square foot roof times 4 feet of rain equals 4,000 cubic feet, which equals roughly 29,900 gallons per year. Second, install gutters and downspouts around the full perimeter of your roof. PVC gutters are cheap, widely available, and easy to install yourself in a single weekend. Direct all downspouts to a single collection point. Third, install a first flush diverter. The first fraction of an inch of each rainfall washes dirt, pollen, bird droppings, and debris off your roof. That water must be automatically diverted before it enters your storage tank. Simple first flush devices cost under $15 online and install in minutes. Fourth, choose your storage tank. To start small, a 275-gallon IBC tote costs between $50 and $100 used. For a more complete setup, tanks from 500 to 2,500 gallons range from $200 to $800. Keep the tank sealed, dark, and protected from direct sunlight to prevent algae growth and mosquito breeding. Fifth, filter the water. Build a bio-sand filter using a 55-gallon drum with a layer of coarse gravel at the bottom, fine gravel above that, and compacted fine sand on top. This system removes over 95% of bacteria without a single gram of chemical product. For drinking water, add a solar disinfection step called SODIS. Fill clear PET bottles with filtered water and leave them in direct sunlight for at least 6 hours. The ultraviolet radiation eliminates remaining pathogens. The World Health Organization has officially recognized this method as effective since 1999. The total cost of a basic, functional rainwater collection system for a house ranges from $150 to $500, depending on storage capacity. An average American household spends about $73 per month on water. That is $876 per year. In less than 1 year, even a modest system pays for itself. And after that, every drop that falls from the sky onto your roof is pure savings. A camper in rural Virginia built a rainwater collection system at his off-grid campsite using salvaged gutters from a neighbor's renovation, a free 275-gallon IBC tote from a local farm, and a biosand filter built from 5-gallon paint buckets. He has not purchased a single drop of water for his campsite since 2019. Visitors arrive, see the system working, ask how it is done, and leave ready to build their own. Instead of spending $1,000 per season on industrial filters and cases of bottled water, he spends zero. The rain pays his water bill every month. This knowledge did not die. It was waiting. Waiting beneath rooftops that waste millions of gallons every single year. Waiting inside Roman cisterns that still function after 2,000 years underground. Waiting in every drop that falls in your backyard and runs straight down the storm drain into nothing. The Nabateans knew. The Romans knew. The Venetians knew. Your great-grandfather probably had a rain barrel, and nobody thought it was strange. The rain never stopped falling. We just stopped collecting. If this video made a difference, subscribe and share. Every share preserves what the industry tried to erase. Every cistern someone builds after watching this video is a water bill the utility company loses forever. And every drop collected from your own roof is a quiet act of independence. The next vault opens soon, and what the industry hid this time is even heavier.